Okay, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA today with Jack Jenkins. Before his fight with Jamal Emmers coming up, man, how are you?
Very well, thanks Toby, how are you?
Good, man. I was sitting here wondering when Phar Jack Jenkins was going to come on, then I realised I hadn't sent him the link. What a legend, what a DC.
I was sitting here patiently waiting.
That's it, bro. So how you been, man? How's the training going? You're just about to wind down, right?
Yeah, everything's going really well. Sort of went over to Thailand for a couple of weeks just because I had a feeling that I was going to get a call, but it was just going to come late. Like I just felt like it wasn't going to be a nice long lead in. So I went over to Thailand and did a couple of weeks there at the start just to sort of get that first bit of weight off, get the fitness back up and start really ramping training up. And then exactly as we thought it did, I sort of got home from Thailand and we got the call the week after that. So we got told about 5 weeks out for the fight, which isn't terrible, but it's also not a full lead in. And the only thing I was worried about was getting a visa, because last time my visa took 6 weeks, but the UFC came through and I ended up getting my visa approved, and I pick it up tomorrow, and then I'll leave the day after that. So been just head down. I haven't really been doing much other than training as I do, and just keeping the same thing going.
That's it, man. What about Thailand? It's changed a lot, hasn't it, bro? It's just got weed shops everywhere now, bro.
Yeah,
You weren't tempted at all?
Nah, I've never been a big weed smoker myself, so
Yeah.
it just didn't me. But it's completely different now than what it was even the last time I was there. So it's world.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just went to Bangkok a few weeks ago, watched a few fights and that, but yeah, there's the weed shops everywhere. It's crazy. Yeah, man. So kicking off with Jamal Emmers, man, like he's quite a strong opponent to come up against. How do you rate him in terms of opponents you've faced thus far?
I think he's going to be my hardest opponent that I've ever fought, no doubt. And I've been preparing and being diligent with my training like that. I think I started my career really well, and with that Perth win, it put me on the right trajectory. But I've just seen it too many times where you see someone young and new come into the UFC and they do well in one fight, and then they get a little bit of hype, and people start talking about what's next for them and the future and all that sort of stuff. And then they start to stumble on the next turning stone because they get their head up in the clouds a little bit. And I'm really determined to not let that happen to me. So like you can even tell, I haven't done any media. I haven't been doing any of that sort of stuff. I've just been head down and getting back into the gym and doing the stuff that I need to do to make sure that I'm ready, because, no one in the UFC is in there because of any other reason other than that they're a really, really good fighter. So I'm treating Jamal like a really dangerous veteran that he is, and he presents a unique challenge from a skill set point of view as well. So it's all systems go.
That's it, man. On that, he's got a pretty big reach on you, man. Do you train with many people that have much of a reach on you that'll help you work with him a bit?
Yeah, at my Thai gym, we've got a few guys who are quite long and rangy. So for his striking style, like those fast teep kicks and big right hands, been practicing for that a lot. And also I've got Sam Kikembo as well, who is a featherweight from Australia, quite long and rangy, and his style is different in its own way, but it's similar enough that Sam could kind of adapt and give me some good looks there.
Yeah, that's a point. I forgot about him. Yeah, he can do some of those long things. So yeah, just saying, I like to strategize for you guys a little bit when I'm watching these guys, like in preparation to talk with you, man. And he throws these long rangey shots, but he seems to throw singles and he kind of pauses on the end of it. Did you notice that?
Yeah, definitely. And even when he throws his right hand, he often drags his back leg in with him and squares up a little bit. So I'm definitely going to be looking to get going on that second and third phase. And just sort of make him pay for those long shots. But in that game, there's an element of danger. You have to be on your toes because you don't want to be getting caught going second all the time.
Yeah, that's true, man. And the danger for you is too, like you gotta stay in the pocket and avoid the hit to counter, right? Like, so if he throws something long, you gotta get away, like out of range. I mean, out of the way of the punch, but you can't step back because you're not going to be able to hit him back with the shot. I see like a timing thing, and I think you'd be quite good at with a you know, a slip and then just a fast 1-2, whatever it is to catch him, because that seems to be the time. When people attack him, he's got a real fast counter, but when he throws, he pauses just for a second. I don't know what it is. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. I see it being a little bit like if you remember Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier when Max came up. I see it being a little bit, to be honest, just in the way that if you land the last shot and you land the harder shots, you're gonna come out on top. And I've also got my there. If he gets a little bit long and starts doing that, I can always threaten the leg kick to shorten him up a little bit and get him a little bit more tentative on those big right hands.
For sure. Bring in the old Phar Jack calf kick, man. I mean, it sounds stupid to say it because, of course, it's going to sneak in there, but it's obviously he's pretty jumpy and he a little bit awkward, moves around, and you have to take away some of the movement, right? And that's obviously going to be part of the key,
Circles away from the power side non-stop.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. He always circles like to his right, to your left. So sometimes you can lead that onto the left hook too, right? Like kind of steer him into it. What's that?
I'm left-handed, so.
Oh, yeah, but you can still work it, right? It's a step off, switch hitter. There you go, bro. Yeah, right onto it, bro. You can crack him with that big left, all right? It's good.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor style. I love the way Conor sort of squares up the shoulders and punches straight through their shoulders. Like that's the angle that he has when he hits the big KOs, you know?
The best at it. And he'll often lose the battle with the feet. Like he'll often let them win the foot position just so he can get off center and then come over the top with that left. Brilliant.
That's it, man. So the strengths for this guy, he seems also to be very athletic, man. How's your cardio going? Like he looks to be going strong in the third round. He even picks it up a little bit in the third round.
Yeah, well, I think I do that as well. Again, that's what you expect in the UFC. If you want to fight at a high level, you got to be fit. But I'm doing, you know, you've seen me. I pick it up in the fifth round, not in the third. So I'm happy enough to get in there, do what I got to do. But in saying that, though, I don't want to be there in the third. I want to get this done in the first or second for this one. I'm really keen to let my hands go and actually start sitting down on some shots now.
Nice, man. So with your training, bro, you went to Thailand, you've been back again. Anything new other than that trip over there, or during that trip, anything you kind of been working on, anything you picked up, or any other changes amongst your, 1%ers you do?
Look, without being boring, not really. I'm just trying to do the same thing that winning recipe that we've got at the moment, and just do the extras that I need to do and show up and keep doing the same stuff. I don't think there's any secret that, you know, if I go in there and I'm fit and I've done the work, I'll be good. You know, I've probably done a little bit more pad work in this time around, and the game plan's a little bit different. So the pressure points have changed in terms of where the majority of my training's been. I think you'll see a lot more, a lot less of me being on top in this fight for long periods of time. I'm gonna, you know, if it goes to the ground, I'm going to be looking for, you know, jump on subs and then scramble, or let him back up and go back to the body and all that sort of stuff.
On the scramble, bro, he does seem pretty good in the scramble, but he doesn't seem so good in the actual submission, right? Like he's had a few sub wins, I think, but that's kind of minimal in his game. But he does scramble pretty well, right?
Really well, yeah, really well. Super athletic.
Yeah, that's it, bro. Hey, I've noticed a few little things popping up. How's the sponsorships and everything going since UFC? A few things have picked up.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know, I'm pretty committed to exposing that commercial side of things, and you know, everyone knows we don't make the greatest money in the UFC, especially at the early point. So, if I can pick up some stuff that doesn't take too much away from my training at all, then I'm pretty keen to do that, and I've managed to pick up a few there.
What sort of companies are you working with?
Mostly gambling companies.
All right, bro. You do what you know, bro. You're aware of all that stuff, so why not?
Yeah, I understand the space pretty well. So I think for those guys to have someone who understands the space and is also an athlete that they can leverage on, that works well for them, and it works well for me because you know, it provides a good source of income, so I can just focus 100% on the training.
And man, and speaking of punters, I hope a few Aussies got on the Stephen Erceg bandwagon over the weekend, just supporting him because in Aussie, whether or not you wanted him to win. And I threw something on him. It was good to see, man.
Mate, so good. Like I really like Stephen. Him and I won our belts together the same night on Eternal on the Gold Coast. I won the featherweight belt, he won the flyweight belt. And we shared a room with him and his coaches out the back. And since then, I've kind of kept in touch with them. And I just think he's such a unique individual and such a good fighter. I hope everyone got on at that 350. But on the app, I put the punters into a multi. I said everyone should take Stephen Erceg into Dan Ige into Charles Oliveira, and it was paying $13, and a few got on it.
That's nice, man. So you're in the UFC, bro. There's extra pressure, obviously, being in a big show, internationally known. Is your brain still processing that, or you still feel kind of the same as back when you were fighting in Eternal, etc.?
Nah, I still feel the same for everything. Everything still feels as it has for the last 8 or 9 years that I've been training and doing this. I think I've said this to you before, but I've been a superstar in my head since I was young. So now you're there and you actually have the potential to be that superstar. It doesn't really bother me. I'm just sort of taking it all in my stride. And you don't know what you don't know. So every time you go into a new environment or experience something new, it's going to be a matter of just taking it how it comes. But, I think you probably would have heard for my Perth fight, like the crowd went ballistic when I walked out. Like it was huge, and I took that pride and I loved it, and it didn't bother me at all. And going into enemy territory now, into his home state, I couldn't care less, to be honest. Like I'm actually hoping when I walk out, I get booed. Like I would rather get booed than anything else, rather than silence you get at the Apex. Just boo me, yell at me, I don't care. But it's I'm happy to just walk out there.
That's good, man. So UFC Fight Night, Emmett versus Topuria, June 25th, Jacksonville, Florida. What's your prediction for your fight, bro?
I'm going to go the first round KO, something from my left side, left hook or left head kick.
Put the house on it?
Put the mortgage on it.
That's it, bro. Hey, on what you're talking about, bro, like you're enjoying it, you're getting some more fans. I'd imagine that your stock is growing in terms of social media and everything. How are you going to build the brand? Because I reckon you're a good type of guy to take it all away with building the brand, the Phar Jack Jenkins brand, bro. I think you've got a good personality to represent our country, and a good, well-spoken sort of guy.
Yeah, thank you. No, definitely. I'm trying to do everything I can just to get those positive parts of my personality out there that I think will be endearing to people and that people want to come along on the journey with. One thing that's really important to me is it has to be authentic. You can't make it fake, because people will see through, whether it's right now or whether it's later on. People are going to see through it if it's fake. But in saying that, you can pick the parts of your personality that shine through a little brighter on the camera, and then use those to leverage yourself.
Show the things that you like and you're familiar with, and a lot of people are too, bro. Like, something about like Sean O'Malley, man. I like to watch him. I like to every Saturday I do gym, I listen to Sean O'Malley's show with his coach. And the thing is, there's not many UFC fighters that are really showing their personality, but these guys just talk shit with their mates and that. And I think you'd have some success with that when you're going out on the golf course, killing some birds, when you're going with your mates for a punt on the horses. This sort of thing would endear you to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, I'm actually the highest handicapped player ever to be sponsored by TaylorMade. Did you know that?
That's funny, bro.
And I've got mates who are actually really good at golf, and they come out on the course with me, and I've got me brand new putter to driver sponsored by TaylorMade, and they just look at me shaking their head like, you're a piece of shit.
That's funny, man. Well, it is what it is, and there's something to work on, man. Eventually you'll have some time in the future to work on your golf like you work on your MMA, and you'll be a gun.
Exactly. Setting up for the future.
Yeah, that's it, man. Anyway, that's it, man. Just a quick chat before your fight that I can post. Thanks for your time, and of course supporting once again from Macau, China, man. Can't wait to see your fight, and definitely on the Phar Jack Jenkins train, bro.
Thanks very much, Toby. Good to talk to you again.
Cheers, bro. Take it easy.